Chapter 2 of Toriko. So Komatsu and Toriko is going through this island and they trying to fucking find the fucking Galalala gator. This motherfucking snake, the swamp snake, pop out on fucking Komatsu. He screamed, ah! My bad, it was a snake frog. That bitch got a capture level of 1. Toriko like, man, don't be out here making noises over this little ass snake frog. He's like, man, it's the first time I ever seen one. I always handle them motherfuckers in the kitchen. He was like, yeah, these guys' livers are a delicacy. He was like, hold on. There's something stuck on me. What the fuck is this, Toriko? He said, it's a leech. It's just sucking your blood. Don't mind it. I do mind it. It's fucking gross. He said, don't try to force it off or it's gonna make the wound bigger. Hold on. So he takes some leaves, right? Then he squeezed that shit on his hand on the leech and then that motherfucker fall off. He said, leeches hate it when you put salt on them. So the mangrove roots deposit the salt content of the seawater they absorbed into their leaves. So the mangrove leaves and the fruit get so salty, even the bugs won't even eat them. He like, oh shit, so that surprised the leech then. But depending on the type, there are leaves that are edible, so study up on it. He like, shit, I'm taking notes. Might as well like, man, there's a lot of them motherfucking mysterious ass birds here. The Barren Archipelago is famous for its many giant mysterious birds. With these guys holding mastery of the sky, you can't get close with helicopter. So that's why we came by boat. So the sun was going down, right? So they was like, fuck it, we gotta rest for a day. He said the Galalala gator is nocturnal, so it's better to go after it during the day when it's sluggish. We're going to the marsh tomorrow. So these motherfuckers up here cooking that motherfucking snake frog from earlier, right? Komatsu's hand's still bleeding. He's like, man, when the fuck this shit supposed to stop? He said when the leeches suck blood, they release a substance called Haradun. It's a substance that prevents blood from clotting. Well, it'll stop eventually. When exactly is eventually? Then he looked around, he's like, hey man, some of these goddamn beasts, G. So they desperate for leftovers. On this island that should be lush for resources, there's some food sorted. By their nature, Galagala crocodiles are omnivores and big eaters. If the IGO's data is correct, I've got no doubt that the current state of the island is due to the actions of a 300-year-old Galalala crocodile. He like, that motherfucker probably eating everything on his damn island. He said, you can say that 200,000 species of living things are facing a crisis. He said, hold on, wait a minute. The Galagala crocodile can even adapt in the ocean. When there are no resources left on the island, next to go to the sea and, hold on, shh, be quiet. You must be like, what is it? Then the motherfucking beast, they like, oh shit, get up out of here. You see the water bubbling up. Big ass fucking sea snake thing come out. You're like, what the fuck was this thing called again? It's a swamp snake, Toriko. Its capture level was 5, and they said that as long as it's in the swamp, not even a Galagala crocodile can carelessly attack it. It's a strong predator. Swamp snake. Huh, no way. The motherfucker said, fell down. Motherfucker dead. Now what the fuck is wrong with this wound? One bite was enough to end his life? What amazing jaw power, and most of all, the jaw size. The 300-year-old Galalala crocodile, but it still doesn't make sense. He looks down and he see all these damn leeches on it and shit. The next thing you know, it's here. Komatsu looked back, he was like, and then Toriko was like, I see. The reason for the swamp snake's capture level is in part because of this strength, but the difficulty for finding it in this swamp is a large part of it. Komatsu like, Toriko, bro, Toriko-san. Toriko like, it's the smell of the blood. At the moment we arrived on the island, we already marked as targets, weren't we? Galalala crocodile. This bitch big as fuck. Motherfucker got an estimated capture level of fucking 8. Stand back, Komatsu. Toriko like, it's a fucking dinosaur. That's not a crocodile. Then his ass, he's like, what the fuck? That's another one. Komatsu said, That's what Toriko was like, I'm delighted. How long it's been since there's been a prey that dares to fight? This motherfucker take off. Try to get on Toriko. Toriko move out the way and punch the fuck out that motherfucker. The motherfucking tail come through. Bow! Crack the fuck out of Toriko. He like, oh fuck. But he grabbed that bitch, right? Threw that bitch like he was Mario and that motherfucker was Bowser from the Nintendo 64 game. Bitch! Threw the fuck out his ass. Toriko like, they're 2 dinosaurs! Toriko looked down at his arm and he see leeches on his arm. He's like, I thought so. Hey, Komatsu! Yes! Yeah! There are 2 dinosaurs! Did you stop bleeding from the place the leeches was sucking? Bleeding? No, no. There's still a little coming! Wait, there's another one coming! He said, I remember those barren leeches. They're parasitic leeches. They're a type that has a parasitic symbiosis with large animals. When they suck at your blood, it takes nearly half a day before it stops bleeding. The large reptile, the Komodo dragon, is famous for having over 60 kinds of bacteria in its saliva. So even if it doesn't give its prey a fatal wound, it will wait patiently for the bacteria to weaken the prey and capture it. The Galilata crocodile keeps a large amount of bearing leeches inside its mouth. It spreads those around and catches its prey by the smell of the blood that they sucked. Then I'm already the crocodile's target too. I also found those on the swamp snake. Now then, it would be trouble just to let this fat fight drag out. Komatsu, does it feel okay if I don't capture this guy alive after all? What? What, alive? Is it okay if I kill him? Yes, be my guest. That day, for the first time, Toriko enters his preparatory state for battle. And at that moment, all the living things on the island left their homes, fleeing. The reason why this motherfucker ain't run, it wasn't because of his pride as the king of the island. It's because of his arrogance from not tasting danger in over 300 years. Galilata crocodile, those are hard scales. Those tough fangs, those sharp claws, and that jaw with around 3 tons of power. That look is appropriate for the king of the barren archipelago. I will show you respect and show you my human weaponry. As you see this motherfucker Toriko was this big ass demon with his ass with the knife and fork in his hand with the motherfucking alligator in the middle of the fucking plate. Toriko was like, ah! Man, that shit scared the shit out of fucking Komatsu, made him piss himself. That's when he put his hands in the air, right? Then he said, ching, 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 ching. Ah! The motherfucker lunge out. Toriko said, I give thanks to all the ingredients in the world. Then he says this word after he always beat a motherfucker. He always say this shit and does this shit. Motherfucker ran up on him. He put his hand like the shape of a fucking fork. Board! Hit the fuck out that motherfucker in the stomach. Got his ass in the air. Put his hand in the knife. Knife! Cut the fuck out that motherfucker with one hand. Cut his hand off. Komatsu like, ah! Toriko slice that bitch up. Put his hands together. Walk the fuck off. Komatsu just stuck looking like, what the fuck? A shit. I'm sure for that moment it looked like a hyena. Toriko's face. Komatsu, mission accomplished. Now let's eat. He said it changed to a smiling face that glistens like glow. Was it for relief? I couldn't stop crying. It was like I caught a glimpse of the wild true form of the man called Toriko. What are you crying for? So these motherfuckers cooked that bitch up, right? He's like, the ether requested me. He's like, it's fine, no matter what. We can't carry this huge amount of back with us. It's done. Look at the marble fat, it's sparkling. It's like a jewel of meat. Yum. He's like, really? I have some too. Komatsu eat that shit. He like, yum. I know, right? Okay, let's grill some more, Komatsu. All right, let's keep going. So they talking this shit. He's like, hey man, if an opportunity comes like this again, I want to come with you, Toriko. Is that cool? Toriko's like, I don't give a fuck what you do. Man, these motherfuckers, they ate the fuck out of that motherfucker. It's all gone. Toriko like, you idiot. I still got a little bit. He's like, bro, that's not enough. He's like, it's one of the leeches that was from his mouth. That's not enough. He's like, no. What am I gonna tell the bureau director? I'm finna get fired. He said, tell the IGO it was freaking delicious. What good is it to tell them that? The world is still overflowing with delicious things, but it's still one step away from being put into my full course menu, I think. So in the end, you're saying it wasn't good enough? And someday Toriko will complete his full course. And that's the end of chapter 2. The next chapter is Rainbow